Next up, we're talking prenups. Many couples think they're the only way to protect yourself going into a marriage. But are prenups just putting a price tag on your worth? My friend Erica is here to break it all down with me.
After all I've seen and life experiences, this topic gives me anxiety for people. I think it's a huge misconception as to what that prenup term means nowadays.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, you've seen it, I've seen it. We have friends that have seen these experiences blow up, right?
Every friend that I have that has signed a prenup, it's been an absolute disaster. You're going into a marriage at this point as a transaction. It's not a marriage. And most of them signed the prenups a couple of days before the actual wedding. So they were presented the paperwork right before their marriage. So to me, that's almost signing something under duress.
Well, even if it's prior, let's call it a few months prior, you're setting up a situation where you're putting a black cloud over what should be the happiest time of your life. You're getting married, you're excited, you're setting up a situation where someone's putting a price tag, whoever's asking for the prenup, and both parties may want it. If both parties want it, fine. But typically it's the case where one party wants it over another.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes they have financial headway that, as opposed to the other person. Sometimes they don't even know what it means, but they think it's a cool thing to do, and they don't even own anything. There's a few people that are in their 40s, men that I know, that have this conception that they need to get a prenup, and when asked, what do you own? They're renting, they own nothing, and they think that they need to get it to protect their brokerage account. Meanwhile,
which is absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's like, we're just talking about major stupidity at this point.
Right. It's like, do you know what you're saying, right?
No.
Like, you should be of the mentality of sharing of some level, not what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours, and someone's putting a price on you. So,
and for the viewers out there, most of the women that I know that have signed the prenups, they absolutely regret them. The prenup, most of them are completely unfair. And to be honest with you, when you're marrying somebody, it's fair where you're coming into the marriage, whatever you own is yours, whatever your spouse to be owns is his, and then whatever you accumulate together should always be joint.
So a couple of points. I do, and I have a legal background, as you know, but I don't practice law. But from my experience, most states, including Florida, have it set up that whatever is prior to marriage is protected by law, right? So, most of these prenups have sliding scales, and these sliding scales are for lump sum alimony. So let's say year 5 comes and your spouse meets someone. Maybe they meet, someone at work, or they meet someone younger, and, this could be on both sides. Men, the women can do it too. At year 5, they can look at this agreement that they've signed with you and say, oh, I can get out of this marriage today for $100,000. Goodbye. Who wants to live like that?
Nobody. You're absolutely putting a price tag on your worth, and you are living in a transactional
in a prison. You're living in a
relationship. It's not a real marriage. To me, it's not a real marriage. I wouldn't sign a prenup. I didn't sign a prenup. In my situation, everything is split down the middle, as it should be, unless you come into the marriage with your assets, their assets, and then whatever you accumulate together should be split.
I think that there should be skin in the game where both parties are sharing something during the marriage. Whatever that may be. If they decide to do anything business related, there's other ways that can be, avenues to go to protect themselves. There are other avenues you can go to protect yourself without a prenup, even if you are worried about an asset. There's other ways.
Because a lot of women are signing these prenups without consulting an attorney because they're presented the prenups right before the wedding. And in their mind, they're thinking, oh, well, it's okay to sign because I love him. I'm marrying him for love anyhow. But people act so differently when it comes to money. And just because you love this person and this person you think loves you back, when it comes to money, like all bets are off.
And even when they do sign it initially, there will be a paragraph in every prenup that states, I've consulted with an attorney on this. I understand every single word that's in here. You're not going to understand anything. You may understand some of it, but you're not going to necessarily understand the consequences of life happening and then what these words actually mean up the road.
She's right. So even if it's a woman who's very successful marrying a man who's less successful, I feel like the same should apply in terms of whatever she has and whatever he has coming into the marriage belongs to each of them, and whatever they accumulate together should be split.
Right.
Because that's a marriage.
And protected in different ways. You know, there are asset protection attorneys now. There are trust attorneys. Go talk to them.
Yes.
But don't make the financially dependent spouse or the spouse that is, just not making as much as as the spouse are, suffer.
Right. Because why are you marrying them to begin with? If it's an issue and you're really want to protect your assets that badly or your future income, why are you marrying this person to begin with?
It's a
if
trap.
If you don't love them, it's a trap for one of you.
Right. Like you have, for example, you have to look at who's marrying who. You have, the 60-year-old that's marrying the 30-year-old. Well, if that's going to be an issue there, that you're worried that, he or she at 30 years old is going to rob you blind one day.
Then why are you marrying her?
Why are you marrying
because
that person?
She's not the right person. She obviously, if you feel that way, then this is the wrong person for you.
Right. Go into it with proper intentions. Go into it with good faith intentions. Understand what you're signing. When you sit down with an attorney, like I said, you're going to need to ask them, what's the consequence of this happening? And but there's things that you're never going to predict.
Right. No, you're right.
Either you're two parties that are proponents to both sign a prenuptial agreement, or one wants one and maybe one is compliant, but be sure that you're going to be comfortable years up the road and not have bad sentiments. Because a lot of people that I know, they have fought before they've gotten married over this. It's broken up weddings. It's almost broken up weddings.
And it's not, honestly, at this point, it's a transaction. So if you can't come to an understanding where both parties feel safe and they're agreeing upon whatever their financial status is and what they're each bringing into the marriage, then at that point, is it really a marriage? Should you be marrying this person, or is this a transaction? Because if it's a transaction, it's never going to work anyhow.
Right. And I would also have these conversations early on. If you're serious with someone, bring up the topic. You don't have to bring it up in a serious manner. You can bring it up casually.
And pretty early on how somebody is or how they act about money and about their finances. You pretty much know up front.
So we're not saying absolutely no to a prenup, but know what you're signing, know what you want, and have open communication with your partner to make sure, as much as possible, that you're comfortable and you will be happy moving forward with that person.
And know your worth. Know what you're worth. And be comfortable that this isn't a transaction, that this is a marriage, and just live happily ever after.